To me, Thread is an upgrade to Zigbee. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's built for the modern smart home. What's up, everyone? Aron here, Editor-in-Chief of ASC Labs. In this episode of Tech Talk with Aron, we're going to be diving into smart home technology for mid-2025. Whether you're just starting to automate your home or managing a battlefield of hubs, voice assistants, and cloud logins, this one's for you. First, let me explain what I look for when building with any smart home technology. 1. Local control. I don't want to be relying on anyone but myself. 2. This is a personal preference. No Wi-Fi. While Wi-Fi might seem pretty stable, for me, it's not as stable as I need it to be for my home automations. 3. No internet access required. Some systems offer local control, but they still require a connection to the internet. That's a no-go for me. My requirements aside, let's talk about the communication protocols that exist in the market today for smart homes. Z-Wave, Zigbee, Thread, and yes, even Wi-Fi. And we'll discuss Matter too. Matter is the universal standard that's trying to tie everything together. Let's dive in. We'll start with Z-Wave. Z-Wave has been around for over 20 years. It's a proprietary protocol, not an open standard, and it's owned by Silicon Labs. The good thing about being a proprietary standard and owned by one company is that all those devices have to go through a standard certification process. That certification process is defined by Silicon Labs. In practice, that means that all certified Z-Wave devices should work with each other. That's a big deal. Compatibility is the key when dealing with smart home technology. Z-Wave uses the 900 megahertz band. That is a low-frequency band, and it also avoids interference with things like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which operate at 2.4 gigahertz. That makes Z-Wave a great option for signal reliability. However, its mesh support is rather lacking compared to other standards. Z-Wave isn't perfect. The data rate tops out at about 100 kilobits per second on the entire mesh network, and you're limited to 232 devices on your network. That may be fine for most homes, but when you start adding devices, it adds up quickly. And for larger business networks, forget it. You'll hit that in no time. Z-Wave doesn't use IP, Internet Protocol, and it will be isolated from your IP network. And that's not a con. I'm just saying it as a matter of fact. Let's talk about Zigbee. Zigbee is open source, and it's based on the standard IEEE 802.15.4. Zigbee runs on the 2.4 gigahertz ISM band, just like Wi-Fi, just like Bluetooth. That might mean some signal interference, but in my experience, I've never had this happen. I've been running Zigbee for well over 2 years, and I have Wi-Fi and I have Bluetooth devices, and I've never noticed any sort of interference coming from either. I've also never experienced drops when using my microwave, which sometimes happens with these types of networks. Zigbee supports a much higher node count. It supports over 65,000 nodes in its mesh network. It also runs faster. The network can support 250 kilobits per second. That's faster than Z-Wave and more scalable. A Zigbee mesh can heal faster. It generally discovers broken links much faster, and it makes them easier to route around. It's also more power efficient. Zigbee is a popular choice for battery-powered sensors and buttons. I have many Zigbee-powered sensors that have lasted for years on battery power. A quick side note, if you do run battery-powered devices, make sure that you have routines set up to check their power levels, and if those batteries are running low, replace them. Don't forget this crucial bit, especially for sensors like water sensors. The problem with Zigbee being open source is that compatibility can vary. Not all Zigbee devices work together. Always check compatibility before you buy something. That being said, I've only purchased Zigbee 3.0 products, and I've not had one that didn't work with my Zigbee network. However, not all the Zigbee clusters might be supported on each device with your network, so make sure to actually check that compatibility. Brands like Philips Hue, IKEA, SmartThings, Akara, they all use Zigbee under the hood. IKEA actually recently announced that they will be moving to Thread and Matter, and we'll have something in the future to discuss that in more detail. Speaking of Thread, why don't we talk about the most future-proof standard that there is currently on the market today? Thread is also based on an open standard. It's also based on IEEE 802.15.4. And like Zigbee, it runs on the 2.4 gigahertz ISM band. But here is what makes Thread different. It runs on IP, specifically IPv6. That means that every single device on a Thread network has an IP address, just like your phone or your laptop or your computer or your smart TV. Thread supports true mesh networking, just like Zigbee does. It's self-healing, and it has extremely low power usage. And remember, because it's based on IP, the Internet Protocol has been really good at rooting around failures for decades. And unlike Zigbee or Z-Wave, Thread is designed to work directly within your home network. No proprietary stacks, no cloud dependencies. But to connect a Thread device to your network, you need something called a Thread border router. Luckily, many devices already have a Thread border router included. Devices like the Apple HomePod, Google Nest Smart Displays, a lot of the Amazon Alexa devices, and a lot of smart TVs all have Thread border routers built in. If you already have one of these devices, Thread devices will connect through that and join your network automatically. There's no extra setup needed. To me, Thread is an upgrade to Zigbee. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's built for the modern smart home. But as of mid-2025, device support is still growing. While yes, my favorite switches in Novelli might have released their White series, which supports Matter over Thread, most devices on the market today still support things like Wi-Fi, Zigbee, or Z-Wave. And speaking of Wi-Fi, let's talk about the most popular option that exists in the market today. Unlike Zigbee and Z-Wave, Wi-Fi devices don't actually need a hub. They connect directly to your home network and often to the cloud. Wi-Fi devices are ubiquitous in the smart home. You can find Wi-Fi plugs, smart switches, cameras, you name it, and I'm sure there's a Wi-Fi device for it. Wi-Fi is fast, no question about it. You're going to get real-time video, voice, and easy remote control, as long as that network remains stable. Wi-Fi is also power hungry, so things like battery-powered Wi-Fi devices are short-lived or just non-existent at all. Also, like any networking technology, the more devices you put on your Wi-Fi network, in general, the slower and more bogged down it becomes. And my biggest pet peeve with Wi-Fi devices is their reliance on the cloud. If your internet goes out, so does your home automations. That's something that's a no-go for my uses. But hey, you might like the ease of use and the ease of setup. And something might actually change that for the better. However, I'm going to recall something that happened to Senglid. And I actually use Senglid products for my Zigbee network, and they work just fine. Senglid actually had a service outage a few weeks ago for their Wi-Fi based products. And the people that actually had Senglid products, they were left without home automation and home control. And you don't want that to happen in your smart home. Still, Wi-Fi is convenient, and it's pretty dominant for now. And Matter support might end up helping Wi-Fi win out along with Thread. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of things like Wi-Fi Halo, the low power, longer range standard, because a lot of consumer devices don't even support that these days. But I might do a future episode on that. Now let's talk about Matter. And you might be asking yourself, why does Matter matter? Matter isn't a network protocol like Thread or Zigbee or Z-Wave or even Wi-Fi. It's a universal language that runs on top of IP-based networks like Thread, like Wi-Fi, and like Ethernet. Matter defines how smart devices identify themselves, how they expose their features, and how they talk to apps, hubs, and each other. The best part of all this, Matter is a local controlled first protocol. No more needing to talk to 5 different clouds just to turn on your smart bulb. In theory, any Matter certified device should work with any Matter certified controller, whether it's Apple, Google, Amazon, or even something like Home Assistant or Habitat. This is just a short primer on what Matter is. I think I want to dive more into this on a future Tech Talk with Aron. As of 2025, we're at Matter 1.4.2. It supports more devices than ever. Things like vacuums, solar panels, dishwashers, air conditioners, and energy monitors. Is it perfect yet? No, not even close. There are still quirks, there's some firmware bugs, and some missing features. But Matter, to me, is a massive step forward in interoperability. which is crucial in a smart home. So what's the smart choice for a smart home in 2025? And it depends. And I will go deeper in this in a future episode, but I'm going to give you my take real quick. If you're starting fresh, Matter over Thread is the best long-term choice. However, if you already have a Zigbee or Z-Wave network, there's no need to rip it out. I doubt there'll be any dual-purpose Matter, Zigbee, Z-Wave devices. If they do exist, you could try to future-proof your network by buying those, but again, I don't think they exist because Matter requires IP. Wi-Fi will still dominate for video and convenience. And platforms like Home Assistant or Habitat can bridge that all together, locally, securely, and on your terms. It's not always easy to set up, but that's something for another time. On the next Tech Talk with Aron, I'll detail what technologies I use in my smart home and which I would pick for different scenarios. Hit that subscribe button. Do you have a smart home? What technologies do you use? Drop a comment below and let's have a discussion. The smart home technology is finally coming into a more mature age. Are we at a point where non-technical people can easily set this up? Not even close. But we're moving in the right direction. So if you're building a smart home, now might be a great time to start looking at smart home technologies. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.